Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the heat map, man. And it's just a visual tool for you when you're trading. When you're trading stocks, ETFs, or you're trading crypto. And it doesn't work with every single thing you could trade, but I want to show you guys, what is my number one trade? I always tell you US 30. What is my number two trade right now? That kind of depends, but I like NAS 100, SPX, I like gold, and I like Bitcoin. So I would say my number one trade is US 30, and my number two trade is the other ones. Okay, and that's basically all that I trade. I don't want to trade everything, right? I do also like Apple and Euro USD, but I only trade Apple on certain occasions, only when the market opens up, and it's not something I'm all gonna be looking at the whole day unless I'm looking at the heat map. Why Apple? I had to bring it up because that's the biggest company that's in the US 30, the NAS 100, and the SPX 500. So if Apple's doing something, it controls the whole market. Let's look at how you go to the heat map. So we're on TradingView, and you can start out right here just on the charts. This is called the super charts, but I want to take you to the home page because some of you guys really never looked at it unless when you signed up. So you're going to click on your profile in the top left. You're going to go to the home, and this is the home screen. A lot of you guys probably seen it only when you signed up. And the way to get back to where we were, we go to products and we hit super charts. Now the way that we want to go to the heat maps, we're going to go to screeners, and we're going to go down here. It says heat maps, and you're going to go to stocks. So once you click stocks, what you're going to see is it could open up and you could look at any stock in the world, right? But I want you guys to first look at the US 30. What is the US 30? I don't see 30 here, Beast Trader. Well, don't worry about it because the 30 is actually called the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Dow Jones Industrial Average, or it's called the US 30. So let's click on this right here, and this is the Dow Jones. What we see is the biggest companies once again that are in the US 30. Microsoft is one of the biggest. And what you could do is you could look at the size and tell what it is. But they also broke it down into categories. Like this is the electronic technology categories, and you see the different ones here. This is the technology services. You see Microsoft, CRM, IBM. This is the retail services. Who is the biggest? Amazon. Wow, look how much bigger they are than Walmart and Home Depot. Isn't that amazing, you guys? It's Amazon. That's why he's the richest guy in the world. Financial department, JP Morgan, American Express, Goldman Sachs, and I don't see what that one really is, but we can click it and find out what it is real quick for you. This is a Travelers Company, a big company in the United States. All these are super huge. It doesn't matter how they look right here. They're all the biggest companies in the United States, right? Then we look at the health technology. We got J&J, MRK. We got consumer non-durables, P&G, Coca-Cola, Nike. Commercial services, we got Visa. Consumer services, McDonald and Disney. Energy, CVX. Producers, right? This is CAT. And we got communications, and this is Verizon right here. And this is Dow. Okay, so this is Verizon again. It's the biggest biggest cell phone provider. It looks like AT&T's not on here, but that is, even though it broke away from AT&T, they must be running it better. Okay, so when you see Apple in a negative like 3% or something, this will control the whole market. It doesn't matter if everything else is green, this trade's going to be going down. When you see Microsoft, losing is pretty bad. So what do we see here? We look at the top biggest ones. That's all we really had to focus on in the beginning. So Apple is up 0.12. It just changed. And what does that mean? That means it is not going down. And so it's going up, and it's not going up that much, but it's going up a little bit. But something like a 0.12 is like one of these other ones going up like 3-4% or 6% or something. That's how big Apple is. You got to remember. So Microsoft is going up 1.65. This is huge. This determines the market going up. Amazon's going up 2%, right? You're looking at Walmart is going down. And then you look at a Visa and a UNH and see what they're doing. Those are the biggest pockets that you see in JPM, and that determines the market. So let's look at the US 30. It's been going up it went up almost $200 today since the morning, when the morning market opened up. Now we're looking at it from a day perspective, from 24 hours. So we could change this and say, well, what's been going on the last hour? Well, as you see, the last hour, nothing's going on. Everything is a plus, basically, except for Amazon, just a little bit. This wouldn't matter. You know, Walmart's a 0.5% down. Not a big deal, but everything else you're seeing plus signs, but nothing's really green but right here and right here. So the market is really not moving, but it's kind of moving up and it's kind of consolidated. Let's look at the 4-hour perspective. And we see in the 4-hour perspective, the big ones, the big three, 2 of them are green and the other one is going up too, but it's just not all the way showing that. And then we got IBM and Walmart going down 1% and 1%, but Amazon going up 2% crushes Amazon going down 1% in UNH. Just remember that in Verizon, right? Because it's so much bigger. How many times can you fit this, that, and this one into this little pocket right here? That's what you're kind of looking at, right? And so you see, and so what I do is I always start off at the day and then I switch between it. Now I want to look at the S&P. Well, let's look at the NAS 100, and this is the US 100, the biggest 100 companies. What do we see here? We see that the same companies that were some of the biggest ones are the biggest ones here too. So all the 30 are going to be in the 100 also. So here we go. This is Apple, the biggest one out of everything, right? Microsoft is also the biggest one. Amazon, which we seen was one of the biggest one. Google was not on the US 30, but you see how it's almost as big as Amazon, or probably a little bigger than Amazon. So you gotta watch out for Google and see what's going on. So when you see, you know, the top 5, who are the top 5? Let's say the top 6. Who are they? Apple, really big. Microsoft, huge. Amazon, huge. You know, I love Costco right here. It's like, that's my favorite store. Everybody knows that. We got Google right here. We got Google, really huge, right? It should be in the US 30, but it's not yet. Why? Because they're saying it's too kind of young, even though it's older than Amazon. They just pick what they want, man. Meta. What is Meta? Facebook and Instagram together and other things is Meta. So Meta is huge in here and it's going up. And then this one right here, this is the fastest growing out of everything. I mean, it was so up and it lost so much money this year. It went up so much. NVDA, you guys got to know who they are. They make the chips that are used for AI. That's why they're so big. Like, they might conquer Apple. Look how big their share is. There's just a different angle. This might be the same size as Apple or Microsoft. Is definitely kind of looks bigger than Amazon, and it's right there probably on Google's level and Amazon's level, right? So this is big, but it's not in the US 30, but it's one of the biggest out of everything. So that's why the US 30 and the NASDAQ 100 move different, because this big one, and this big one right here are some of the biggest in the world, but they're not on the US 30, but they're on the 100. So that's why it's going to move way different. I think they do that on purpose. But what do we got? We got Netflix, Adobe. We got, you know, household names here when you look at everything. Let me tell you another one. It's a classic one for us. Utilities. We can click on these and look at them in a bigger sense like this, right? Coca-Cola. So we could click on the little thing and it'll show us like consumer services. Right? CMCSA. This looks like what? The TV service. This is what? Starbucks. Airbnb. Look how big Airbnb is, man. It kind of just came out. It's pretty amazing. Let's see here. I could go to a couple more for you. Transportation. Let's look at transportation. We got CSX. Dash is what? The food delivery service. So that's pretty cool how you could click on these and find out what's going on. And you guys need to like research and see, well, these are the health services, and just know it's just good for you to know stuff like this. You know, this is the technology services. If you split them up, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, these are some of the biggest movers. Netflix, Adobe. So you guys could tell it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing when you could look at the different stuff and have this information that we have. Now we're going to look at the SPX 500. These are the 500 biggest companies. And what you'll see is the big, huge companies: Apple, NVDA, Amazon, what we were talking about, Microsoft, Google, Meta, right? But with this, there's so many little ones that, you know, if you look at all these little companies put together, if they're all red, they're bigger than Apple, right? If you look at these and they're all red, that's a bigger system than Apple and NVDA, right? So this is the thing. Like, let's look at retail sales: Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot. You know, Lowe's wasn't in the other one. We didn't see that. CVS, Target, you know, Lulu. That's probably Lululemon. A lot of people like to buy that. Costco, my favorite again. And let's look at consumer durables. Tesla's here, right? That was on the other one, the 100, but wasn't on the 30. But we got other stuff that's not on there. And some of the stuff is so little you can't even see it. Look how little this company is. What company is that? You can't tell me because you can't see it. But I can click on it and see what this little company is. FMC Corporation. I mean, is it going to be a big deal on the 500? No, unless this whole thing like this right here is lighting up all red, and you see the health services are pretty big, and most of the health services are doing pretty bad today, which means that health services are not having a good day, right? Technology services look like they're having a great day, but Oracle, ACN, and some of the other ones aren't doing that good. So this is how you look at the heat map for, you know, the stocks and the indices. I could show you, I want to show you one more thing. Let's go back to the heat maps, and I want to show you crypto. So if you click on crypto, this is going to show you all the cryptos. But what do we see? Bitcoin is bigger than everything that was ever made. This Bitcoin is bigger than everything else. Look at it. This size of this market cap is bigger than all the market caps of everything else. Well, what's the second biggest crypto? Ethereum. Then Tether, right? Then BNB, then Solana, then USDC, then XRP, then Lido, right? And then you got to go Dogecoin, Toincoin, Tron. I love Tron. I like Cardano. I have Solana, Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I transfer money using Tether, and I have BNB. And look at this though. Who has these down here? Do we even know what they are? I'm gonna click on something. You're gonna say, what? Let me see here. I mean, there's so many. If you just scroll over something, it will show you right here in the middle of the screen. The A and B will be like right here. Let's look. When I click it, and you'll see Bitcoin is just so huge, man. It's like outrageously huge. So we see the different ones and see them coming up. Baby, that was the baby Dogecoin, it said. Here we go. And there's no categories because this is all crypto. So there's not going to be breaking them down technology like the other one and all that. Near USD. I'm trying to see a coin I have. Some of these are so little, but they're getting bigger. So these are some of the coins that you want to look at for the future. That are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. ETC USD. Let's see here. This is Bitcoin Cash. It's getting bigger. Polkadot, I love. Polkadot is really good. Chainlink, man, Link is, you guys should get that. Shibu Inu is really good. I got a lot of that. Avalanche is really good. So as you can see, the littler they get all the way down here with some stuff you probably don't even know because there's so many cryptos out there. But who's the big player that's going to move the market if you're doing like all cryptos? It's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum. So what should you trade? Well, you should trade, if you're going to trade crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Tether doesn't move because Tether's basically just equal to $1. So it's a very stable coin. It really doesn't move. If this moved or USDC moved, it might go out of business. Down. If it goes up, that's great for everybody. But if it goes down, it's like the dollar's not worth as much when you transferred it over. These are called stable coins that when you put Bitcoin or you put something into it, it's not going to move. Like Bitcoin moved 4% today, right? It could move 5% down tomorrow, and those are big losses or big gains. 4% on Bitcoin means what? If we look over here on Bitcoin, that means it went up $2,500 today. That's a lot of pips, a lot of earnings. You know, BNB went up 2%, Solana 2%. So it looks like a good day for what? Crypto. Why? Because everything is green except for these little guys that are red, and they're probably just moving a little bit. Let's click on this one and see how much it went down today. Performance for the week is down 11%, but today is down 3%. Helium. So I just want you guys to know that we can look at crypto, and then we can look at ETFs also. I'm not going to really spend time on it, but you can click on ETFs, and these are ETFs. And you can find out what it means and understand it and trade that if you want to. I kind of stay away from these. They don't really work that good for me. But why do we use a heat map? The number one reason why we're going to use a heat map is for stocks, because we're going to look at my favorite things that are called indices, where they have a lot of stocks placed together, called the Dow Jones. That's the top 30 companies in the United States. The NASDAQ 100 is the top 100 companies in the United States. And we're going to look at the SPX 500, and that's the best 500 companies that are doing really good in the United States. All right, you guys, God bless you. Have a good day. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to use this service that's in TradingView that's free for you, just to really look before you take a trade in the indices to see like is stuff red or green. All right, you guys, have a great day.